it's 8 o'clock hour time to get this thing rolling, and we're going to kick it off with Joe Swighoff, the Bryan Insurance guy, talking about what you need to do in case of an emergency. And today, Joe, with it being
the weather outside is frightful.
Yeah,
it's too late for that.
No,
Let's start doing that a little bit.
it's still a little cool out.
Okay.
We got temps going to be dropping in the 20s day, wind chills into the teens, single digits.
Right.
There might be a situation where somebody might have a busted water pipe or something take place. Now, we know we've talked about it a million times about what you should do in case, how to take care of it. But
kind of prep.
Yeah, kind of prep for it. But let's just say that somebody comes home tonight and their yard's full of water and there's water pouring out the front door because a pipe burst. What's the procedure? What do they do in case of that emergency?
Get out your swimsuit and your rubber ducky, really.
Not a good idea.
No, that's not a good plan. No. Oh, okay. Now, probably a good idea, and this kind of goes along with the prep a little bit. Probably have a good idea to know where your main water shutoff is, whether it's at the street, whether it's somewhere in the house, not just for your individual. Like most toilets have like a shutoff under them or whatever, but who knows where those pipes are. So as part of your prep work, know where your main shutoff valve is. So yeah, you show up tonight, or maybe you've been out of town for a couple of days and you're just going to roll in tomorrow and you didn't realize it was going to get this cold. And yeah, your house is starting to flood. First things first, get that water shut off. Get it shut off at the main so that it no longer continues to go. If you can try to isolate or figure out where that water is coming from, that's only going to help when you get somebody out there to repair it. Probably have one or two plumbers in your phone so you can give them a call and say, hey, I got a water leak here. I need you to come out, maybe fix it or put a patch on it or repair it. The other thing is you want to try to get as much water up out of the carpet or out of the flooring as you can. The longer that water sits there, the more damage that it's going to do to either your floor, your walls. If you've got laminate flooring or something like that, you want to try to get up as much water as you can. Shop vac it if you can. We've got some companies in town that will also come out and aid you with getting that water out, sucking that water out of carpets and off of floors. There's some folks out of Wichita. There's some folks locally that will do that for you as well. Have those guys ready to call. You may be in a situation where it's an isolated leak type of a thing, or you may come in and have 2 inches of standing water on your floor, and you got to deal with things like, hey, let's pull the carpet up. Let's get that up so you can get that stuff to dry. You don't want to have, it's like a wet towel sitting on a piece of wood. You don't want to have that start to swell. So let's get the water up. Let's get it out. This also may involve things like maybe taking, 1 or 2 feet of sheetrock off, because unfortunately sheetrock, when it gets wet, much like wood, it's going to start to swell, and that's going to create an issue for you. Most of the time, and this is, again, part of your prep work, most of the time your homeowner's policy will cover that. There's provisions in there for busted water pipe type of situations, but you want to make sure that it does. If you've got an older policy that maybe needed to have that added as an endorsement and you haven't added it, that's going to be a problem. Most of the policies that we will put out on the street today are going to have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 worth of coverage for that.
Now, let's just say that someone comes home, they got all that going on. The first thought is, what do I do?
Right.
Okay, that's the first. Let's shut the water off. Then, if they need to get a hold of you guys on get the ball rolling there,
right.
I mean, that's probably number two.
Yeah, if it's an after-hours thing, we've actually got a great app out there. Bryan Insurance, the folks over there, Tommy Dyes, has worked really, really hard to put an app together that will get you, you can look at your policies. You can see kind of what coverage you have. Obviously, if it's during business hours, give us a call. Hey, guys, got a problem, got an issue. If it's after hours, you probably want to have a good idea to know who your policy is with, whether it's State Auto, Travelers, Allstate, whoever it happens to be. And if it's not with us, you want to know who your policy is with, because if it's 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, you want to give the claims folks a call and say, hey, just came up on this, or just got home and realized I got a problem. I shut the water off, but I need to get the ball rolling. They're going to have some questions for you and determine at that point, hey, do they need to get somebody out there to start sucking the water up professionally or something like that? So you can always call us. If it's after hours, probably going to have there's an 800 number that every insurance company has for claims that are manned 24/7 just for these reasons. So have that number ready to go as well if it's an after hours type of thing.
Do a lot of people I guess they feel kind of helpless in this kind of situation. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to turn to in case of situation. I mean, what kind of advice do you give folks whenever they call you on these things?
Yeah, the biggest thing I can tell them is like we talked about, shut that water off. Make sure you stop that from happening. Probably a good idea, like I said, get the water up, maybe get some carpets up, pick up any type of wood furniture that may be sitting on that wet carpet because that stuff's going to, so everything becomes a sponge, unfortunately. You want to start getting, maybe getting the house aired out. Day like today, a little chilly, a little windy, but that wind blowing can actually help kind of evaporate some of that water. So that's kind of the first thing you can do. Probably want to start taking pictures of everything. Pictures are always great, especially if it's going to be maybe 2 or 3 days before somebody can get to you, whether it be a plumber or a claims person or something like that. You want to take pictures. You want to kind of note any damages that you may have, anything like that. If your house becomes unlivable, most of the time when you start the claims process, those guys are going to ask you all that stuff. Hey, is your house livable? Usually house livable thing has a lot to do with smoke damage or tree falls through the roof, something like that. Usually water damage, you're okay to live in that as long, again, as we stop the water. But part of that also means we want to know where that leak's coming from so you can get somebody out there to repair that leak. Maybe hopefully it's just a busted pipe and it's a simple fix, but you want to make sure you can get a hold of somebody here locally that can get out there and get that problem fixed kind of in the interim.
Now, if folks need to get a hold of you to review their policy, or if they're with another company and they're not sure their coverages and things like that, maybe they want to get another policy on this sort of thing. Because I bet you if you took out a policy in 2005 that the levels of 2005 and 2014 are probably a little different.
Yeah, they probably are. You maybe need to go and adjust that. Like I say, you may only have, $5,000 worth of water damage coverage. Heck, your policy may actually give you a lot more, and maybe you just don't realize it. So, sure, it's a good time to sit down, go over that, whether you're a client currently or, maybe you're with somebody else right now, and you just want somebody to eyeball it and take a look. 549-2525 is the number to call. Be more than happy to sit down, go over it with you, kind of take the consultative role to show you, hey, this is what you have, these may be where some holes are, things like that. You can also come on up to the second floor of the Sierra Bank building. Be more than happy to look that over for you, maybe make some recommendations for you. Visit us at Bryan with a Y, BRYANINS.com, and let's make sure you're covered the way you need to be.
So get it done today at Bryan Insurance, 549-2525. Joe, appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, thank you, Rick.
And that's Joe Sweithoffer.